Hey folks, it's Dave with the Gamehounds again, back here on the Ratcast Rewind under the Tree of Life. And today I'm going to take a look at my 5 favorite video games of all time. So if you've ever tried to pick your favorite video games of all time, it's not easy. And you know how you usually see these TV shows and they say, don't try this at home? Try this at home. Try to come up with 5 games out of all the ones you played that you would consider your top 5. It's really not easy. I mean, you can boil it down to 20 or 25, but it's so hard to start eliminating games from that list because you played games for so many different reasons at so many different times of your life, and some games meant more to you. And then you got the Mandela effect maybe of a game that you thought was so much better than it really was. But anyway, I'm going to run down my top 5 today, just so you have an idea on some of my tastes of video games as well. So anyway, the bottom 3, 4, and 5, are in no particular order. I couldn't decide what order to put them in, so just keep in mind the 3, 4, and 5 are all interchangeable for me. So let's start with number 5 of my top 5, and that would be Left 4 Dead 1. Yeah, on the 360, I played this game to death. In fact, it was one of those games that you would go online and play with people, and if you got into a good room or good people, everyone started friending you because you were playing the game the right way. And this game here on the 360, I easily doubled my friends list just because of this game, and I still actually, talk to or play some games with some of my old Left 4 Dead friends on the Xbox today. It was just that good of a game. I made a joke to one of my wife's nieces and nephews one time. I said, look, he says, I'm going to put this disc in my 360 and I'm going to weld it shut because it ain't coming out, because that's how much I played this game. You could play it single player, you could play it online, you could play with friends, and one of the great things about this game is it's the drop in and drop out. I don't remember a game that you could drop in and drop out of a game so easily. In fact, they had a feature that if you had to take a phone call or run to the bathroom or something happened, you didn't have to leave the game. You could put it in like a computer mode. Basically, the computer took over for you. And it was kind of neat. It's like, if you just left the controller there, the computer would pick it up and play it for you too. Now, you could get kicked out of the room if you didn't get back in and play, quick enough. But yeah, I mean, you could jump out, let the computer take over for you, go do your thing, come back, pick it up, and get right back into the game. So the drop in, drop out of this game was unbelievable, including that feature I just talked about, letting the computer play your guy. It was just so much fun. So anyway, Left 4 Dead 1 is number 5. At number 4 is Ghost Recon. This was another game changer for me. I played this on the original Xbox. We're actually looking at footage of Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter on the 360 here. But the whole series, I love the whole series of Ghost Recon, even up to the brand new one, Ghost Recon Wildlands, that just come out on the PS4 and the Xbox One recently. I played that to death. I got it for both systems. That's how much I like the Ghost Recon series. But probably this one here, Ghost Recon, the original one, I played that on the original Xbox. And I remember being at hockey, and I had my friend Ray and another friend, Steve, Ace, told me, he's like, yeah, with Ghost Recon, you can go online and we can play missions together. And I was like, what do you mean missions together? This was the first game that I played multiplayer where I saw my screen and you saw your screen. Okay, because there was always couch co-op with me. With the Nintendo and the Sega. So when I got my Xbox here, I was like, holy cow. I have my own screen. I don't have to share a screen with anybody. And I remember watching a guy throw a grenade through a window as another guy ran in and killed his own man. I thought that was hysterical. It was one of my favorite video game moments ever. And I just sat back and watched the whole thing on my own screen. It was really neat. But the mission playing, the co-ops, Ghost Recon 2, Summit Strike, Jungle Island, but they had so many versions of this game, and I played them all, and I played them all to death. So yeah, Ghost Recon number 4 on my list. Number 3, it's an older game, and I still play it today. That would be Diablo 3. Yeah, I played the crap out of Diablo 3 on the 360. In fact, it was a listener of the Gamehounds that sent me a message, and I don't know if it was Facebook or Twitter. I might not even had Facebook or Twitter at the time. He might have sent me a message over Xbox and said, Goalie, you need to check out this game called Diablo 3. There's a free demo. Check it out. And I checked it out, and I put it in, and I played, I don't know, 2 minutes, and I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. In fact, so I ran upstairs, and I was going to run down the store to pick up a copy, and I think I had the wife try it out. It says, tell me what you think of this game. If you like it, I'll get one for you too, because you can play together. And she played 2 minutes, was like, get me one. So I ran down the store, and I picked up 2 copies of Diablo 3, and the rest is history. It's you can play by yourself. You can play up to 4 people co-op. You can invite friends. You can play with randoms. You can do whatever you want in this game. And I find that when you go into this game now, this is the 360 version. It was released on a PS4 also, which is the graphics are awesome on PS4. The people that you play with, the random people, are usually pretty good, and they're usually willing to help you out and give you tips and tricks and where to find the keys and where to find the special stuff. But I still play this today quite a bit on the PS4. I'll jump in and play by myself, or sometimes a buddy will say, hey, let's play some Diablo 3, and we just chat while we play the game. We run through the different levels. But yeah, Diablo 3 would be number 3 on my list. Diablo 3, get it? Number 2, you knew there had to be a hockey game in this list, as I'm a big hockey guy. Number 2, coming at you, NHL Hockey for the Sega Genesis. Yeah, this is the first one that spawned the series. There were 7 total NHL games from EA Sports on the Sega Genesis. This is the first one. This is the one I played the most. I know exactly where I was when I discovered this game, and I plan on doing a future episode talking about some of the hockey games, and I will go into every detail about this game and why it's so important to me. But this was just the first game I remember that you could pull the goalie. It was a true hockey sim. Now, don't get me wrong, I love me some Blades of Steel. Okay, that was a good time. Even ice hockey was fun a little bit on the Nintendo. I did play in television hockey, which was whatever. But anyway, the Sega Genesis NHL Hockey, this was a game changer. I couldn't stop playing this game. This was unbelievable. Now, the other ones were good. We've all heard of NHL 94, which came 2 after this one here. But this was the big one for me. This is the one I still have played the most out of the whole series. So, yeah, NHL Hockey on Sega Genesis is my number 2. Now, before we get to my number 1 favorite game, let's take a look at some games that didn't quite make the list but made the honorable mention, okay? First one, Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, fantastic game for the Xbox 360. Really looking forward to Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out hopefully later this year on the PS4 and Xbox One, I believe. I'm not a fan of the Old West. I'm not a Cowboys and Indians guys. When I grew up as a kid, I did not like watching the old Western shows. I like nothing about the Old West. It's just not my genre. It's just not my thing. So why the heck I like Red Dead Redemption so much, I don't know. The story was great. I don't know if it was just the riding on the horse or riding into town or the outlaws and the bandits and the trains and the whole. It captured me. It was a great story. It was fun to play. Just missed the top 5, but definitely honorable mention on my list, Red Dead Redemption. Another one on my honorable mention list, The Witcher 3. What's it called? The Wild Hunt. Yeah, I tried The Witcher 2. I didn't like it. They put you in a tutorial that I couldn't figure out. It's like, man, how do I get through this tutorial? It's ridiculous. So Witcher 3 come along. I heard good things about it. I'm not sure why I picked it up, but I did pick it up, and boy, it was gorgeous. It was wide open. It was so much fun. It was one of the biggest open world games I've ever played. Things that you did in the game affected things in the game. I mean, if you went into a village and they said, hey, there's a demon living in a tree, can you go take care of it? Well, you went and checked out that demon, and maybe you helped the demon, maybe you killed the demon, and maybe you did nothing. But whatever you did, it affected those villages later on in the game. In fact, you go to some of the islands in this game, and you actually have an effect on the election. There's, the king died and trying to figure out who's going to take over the king's spot, and there's 2 or 3 or 4 people there, and you get involved, and you actually affect the election and who takes over. And when that happens, it has an effect on things down the line in the game. So It was wide open. There was so many things to do. The only thing about this game was the menu system. It was so difficult to learn. It probably took me 20 hours just to figure out what was going on in the menus. But once you got it, it was fine and it was fun, and I still like to play it to this day. And I'm going to go back and play it again, hopefully this summer here in 2018. The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt, honorable mention. And the last game on my honorable mention list is Tetris. Yeah, this is the Nintendo version, but boy, you can play it just about anywhere now. You can probably play it on your phone. They had it on, I think every system had a version of Tetris, but we all know what it is. There's no need to talk about Tetris. It's just a puzzle game, invented by a Russian back in the day. But yeah, this was so much fun. I think it was on the Game Boy. That's when I first played it. It was on the Game Boy. My cousin had a Game Boy. I was like, what is this Tetris game? I was like, I fell in love with it. So yeah, Tetris, I played so many hours of this. In fact, I think I had a little handheld device to play Tetris, and I played that to death too. So Tetris, definitely on my honorable mention list. So drum roll, please. That brings us to my favorite game of all time, at least at this point, but probably my favorite game of all time, and that is Sneak King. No, it's not Sneak King. Okay, if you know me, my favorite game is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Yeah, played this on the 360, easily put in 350 hours into this game. Now, granted, it came out on 11/11/11, so a long time ago. So that's in November, and I played it straight through till March or April. I mean, that's all I did. In fact, when we recorded the Gamehounds show, people probably got sick of me talking about Skyrim for 6 months. So, I would play an hour here, an hour there. If I had a day off, I'd play all day. And weekends after work, I'd play all night. So I just put so many hours into this game. There was so many things to do. I mean, even after you completed the story, you could still go to these towns. You could buy houses. You could, take the metals that you mined and smith stuff and craft stuff, and just so much to do in Skyrim. It was just a huge game. Really fun. In fact, I ended up turning myself into a werewolf and going into towns and just killing people. Just after I had the game finished, I even did that. Then, of course, I went back to a previous save, so it didn't save that. But you could do all kinds of crazy things in this game.
How about a friendly
The storylines were great. You could help people if you wanted to. Yeah, I don't know what to say, but Skyrim is still at the top of my list. It's going to be real hard to knock off. They did announce a new Elder Scrolls 6, which I'm excited about, which will come out in probably a few years. And we'll see if it can knock off this one here. But as of right now, Skyrim, top game of all time. So anyway, that is my top 5 favorite video games of all time. What are your top 5 games? Let me know in the comments or send me a tweet on Twitter at Gamergoalie. I'd like to know if any of my top 5 are in your top 5. Again, let me know. I'm Dave with the Gamehounds, and thanks for watching the Ratcast Rewind.